Prophets and Kings and Evergreen Things. It's Rhyme and Reason 503.
There's a rhyme and reason for your life. There's a rhyme and reason why.
Hey there, Tony here. How you doing today? I hope today finds you sunny and bright. Or if you need the rain, I hope you get that too. Okay? Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm glad you're there because if you weren't there, like I said before, I'd be talking to myself. Kind of feels like that anyway when you're recording an episode. But I know you're out there listening. I know you're tuning in, and it makes the world of difference to me to know that you've taken some time out of your day to have me in your earbuds or whatever you listen to. Whatever you listen to this on, and so I'm going to get right to the topic of prophets and kings. Do you ever wish you were one of those? You know, they have a lot of those in the Bible and other books that they have written about, prophets and kings. But if you just kind of sit back and close your eyes and imagine that you're one of those, and, you know, just all the good life that went with that, people would jump at your command, and governments and nations would bend their ears to your every word. Wouldn't that be so cool? I mean, power beyond your wildest dreams. Or, then again, maybe prophets and kings don't have it so good after all. If we think about it a little bit here, let's see. Maybe living in a dream world isn't all it's cracked up to be. Maybe, you know. Of course, living in the real world ain't no picnic either, but at least you know where you stand. You do know where you stand, right? I hope you do. Just in case that you think your lot in life is unfair and it's unfun, consider what happened to many of those so-called elite back in let's say the Bible days. People like to say Bible days, which I don't know if you know this or not, but these are the Bible days too. So, but I know what people are talking about when they say Bible days. They're talking about back in the days of Noah and, you know, Abraham and Moses and way, way back. Okay, but back then, many people were murdered, many even of the prophets and even kings, and lots more were dealing with dysfunctional and even diabolical offspring. You know, imagine you have a son and he grows up and he wants to kill you, take over your throne. Hey, doesn't sound like a great day. And others lived in rebellion against God, and that didn't go well for them. But at least they were the chosen ones, right? So it all eventually turned out really nice, right? Not so fast. Like I said, many of those guys didn't even do what God chose them to do. In fact, so many of them opposed God. It's almost as if he gave them their own will and didn't plan out their days. What? Can you imagine? Because we all know that God's exhaustive foreknowledge is clearly seen in how he organized every step of our lives before we were even born, right? You can clearly see that because everything makes so much sense every single day, in every single way, to every single person. That's God. That's obviously God working in the lives of all of us little humans, right? So it makes me wonder, and I hope it makes you wonder, how those guys in those high positions, you know, those prophets and kings, how could they do things that were so contrary to God? If you read in the Bible, you actually get a real good sense of what God's character is like. And these guys in the Bible, they weren't doing things like God would do. Even more than that, why would God allow it? Why wouldn't he just nudge them back, you know, over onto the steps that he'd already lined up for them? Why didn't he do that? Maybe your future and my future, maybe the future isn't planned out in every detail. What? There he goes again, crazy talk. And maybe you and I are free to decide where we want to be forever? Oh, stop it. Stop. He's talking crazy over here, Marge. But wait. That means the bad stuff, all that stuff that's going on daily, all that stuff in life that you're reading about right now, you know, even this whole virus thing and protest and rioting and looting. Maybe that's not part of God's ultimate plan. Uh-oh. What if it means the bad stuff are all the consequences of our own bad decisions? Say it ain't so, Joe. Oh, no. But then again, you know what? Maybe it would explain a lot of things. You know, hey, Lucy, you got some explaining to do. I mean, it's all so confusing, isn't it? Except it's not. When you find out the words in the Bible show how God is the source of love and he's a risk taker, so he decided to give man, and that's all humans, you know, sorry if that offends you to use the word man to cover everybody, but God decided to give humans, if you want to call us that, the freedom to choose him or not. And as Shakespeare said, therein lies the rub. Even prophets and kings choose him not. Yep, the so-called chosen ones didn't choose God back. But you know what I did? A long time ago, I decided to go with God. And I knew I wanted to be in the presence of love. I can't imagine wanting to be in the presence of anything else. And I found out I could be there forever. Wow, forever in the presence of love. Take that in for a second. Soak that in. And I've always been grateful and thankful for that ability to choose. I never felt inside my brain that I couldn't do anything else. I never felt that. I always felt like I could choose the direction that I would take for the day. I felt that when I did something wrong, that it was me choosing to do that, not God pushing me in that direction. So that's, typically I like to talk about logic and reason, but your feelings can, it's like gut feeling. It can be right. It can be right. And my feeling that it's on me, that's a right feeling. It's a good feeling to go with. That gut feeling is true because it's based on the logic and the reason that's in the Bible. So prophets would prophesy lies, and kings did despicable things just because they could, and I'm sure they understood how God doesn't use puppet strings to make us behave like a slave and not see how we can be free. No, he's really real. He's a father who can feel, and I want that eternally. Okay, I'll leave you with that rhyme for this time. Hey, rhyme for this time. That rhymed. And I'm going to finish off by letting you know that if you go to TonyFunderburk.com and you look, I believe there's a tab there that says merch, and you click on that, you'll find the cool t-shirt that you can get in your own size and your own choice that says, life has rhyme and reason because God made you.
There's a rhyme